Hi, everybody.
Oh,
Happy
hello,
New
hello,
Year.
hello, hello. Welcome to 2022. This is the first African meetup for the year. Hello, Ruth. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And I met Martins over the holiday. I think that was in January, right? So I've seen
Yeah, it
Martins
was towards the end of
quite that
January.
yep. So
Awesome.
welcome,
So
Martins. We are
we
excited
are
to
really
be
excited.
here.
hmm
I think we have so many persons. So many persons. I was telling Andrea like a few minutes ago that so many persons signed up. This for February we had like over 200 sign-ups, and that's like really interesting. I'm sure everyone has missed
Oh,
it.
wow. Yeah, it must be the speakers. I know you guys are tired of seeing my face.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
we have so many things for you folks today, and yeah, let's get started. So we'll start with introducing ourselves once again. It's a new year, so yeah, we need to introduce ourselves again. So Martins, I think you should go ahead and make an introduction.
Yeah. So Martin's here, Iwera. I'm a Nigerian. I'm American. I'm currently in Nigeria right now, and I'm also a GitHub account executive, real estate investor, and a crypto enthusiast. You can follow me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. I've done Martins. So over to you, Ruth.
Yeah, I think did you just open this Twitter account? Because I've not seen you on Twitter. I think
Yeah, you need to go check it out. Yeah, I'm not, Twitter is not really my big strength, one of my big strengths, but I'm more on
okay.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I know I've searched for you a lot of times on Twitter and I've not seen, so that's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. I'll go follow right now, like after the presentation. Okay, for me, I'm a technical content manager and also a GitHub star. You can see the shiny star there up there above my very cute profile picture. Yeah, so and I'm also an open source advocate. I love doing everything open source, and you can find me at Ikegarus on Twitter. And I'm not like Martins; I'm very active on Twitter. So yeah, you can always
Yeah,
hit me
that's why I have you here. Ruth.
up. Yeah. So like I said, we have like a whole lot. We just have, we have a whole lot for you first. But as always, GitHub always releases new things I think, almost every week. So we have the GitHub Universe news, and we are going to run through it. And we also have our amazing speakers. We have Yoma. She's going to be talking about the GitHub campus experts. I'm going to save all the information. Yuma is going to share that later. And then we have Bolaji from OSCA. So OSCA means Open Source Community Africa. So Bolaji is going to be taking us through community powered open source stuff in Africa. And we would also have our networking session where we play Kahoot games. I'm sure I'm not mistaken, there should be Kahoot games because I always look forward to that. So we have like the networking session, at the end of Bolaji's talk, and there's something exciting as well that I'm not going to share till Bolaji's talk. So please stay tuned. And yep, that's all we have for you today. So now to GitHub news. So we now have mermaid support. I know mermaid sounds interesting. Like I think I was wondering, when it came out, I was wondering why the name mermaid, right? Because it's really interesting. It gives me that cartoon vibes. So mermaid
Yeah.
is a JavaScript diagram tool and chatting tool. So sometimes when you look at some readme, there's a whole lot of like information on it, and then you're confused, what do I do here? So Marmite support is like a diagramming tool where you can turn markdown text, you can turn it to diagrams, right? So you can see this pretty one
Mm,
here, it's
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 awesome.
very interactive. You can know the information by just looking at the diagrams and having like a bunch of text all there. So yeah, so you should check out Mermaid to for your project to represent your markdown text to beautiful diagrams. And there's a whole lot you can do. There are more beautiful diagrams you can make. So this is just like an example. So yeah, so that's what we have. And next, I would allow Martin to take this one.
All right, thank you, Ruth. I like the mermaid update as well.
Yeah.
So, one thing I wanted to point out here is dependable alerts. We've had this before now. I think the only difference now is that before now, yeah, like you needed to go into a repository to find all the alerts that you have for that specific repository. But right now, there's a new updates for if you have GitHub Advanced Security turned on for your open source project, um, within the organization view, you can now see all the alerts within your security overview. So security overview is like let's just say a single pane of glass where you can see the health of your overall organization. Like, do you have a lot of like vulnerabilities? Do you have secrets in your code base, which is you shouldn't be pushing secrets to your code, and having it on GitHub. You would also be able to see all your code scanning alerts, and also dependable alerts is now part of that whole view. And this is just a screenshot of what that looks like.
Mhm.
But you can definitely check this out on github.com. And if you have, if you've subscribed to the GitHub Advanced Security, a product within your open source tool. So that's pretty much it for
Yeah, that's
dependable alerts, and yeah,
yeah,
and then we can move to the next.
yeah. So we had just two interesting universe news to share. Don't worry, next month I'm sure we'll have a whole lot of them.
Yeah, we're keeping it for our next big event.
Sure. All right. So I think we've come to the interesting moment. So we are going to be introducing Yoma is going to be talking about the GitHub campus expert, and Yoma is a community education manager with GitHub, and I'll let Yoma take it from here and tell us everything about GitHub campus expert and how you can apply. Yoma should
Okay, we'll wait for the technical people to have Yuma live.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit. Sorry for Yoma to come up.
Okay. Maybe if we don't have Yuma at this point, we can um, potentially go with the second speaker, but let
Yeah,
me
then
double
Yoma comes
check.
up after here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. So next up we have Bolaji Ayodeji, and Bolaji is going to be sharing, talking about the community powered open source Africa. Bolaji is going to be
Mm-hmm.
sharing a lot about the open source community here in Africa and a whole lot of interesting details. And Bolaji is a developer advocate at Commerce Layer, and he's also an open source advocate and an open source fan. And Bolaji has an amazing newsletter that I am subscribed to. That Bolaji shares a whole lot of awesome tech resources and, a whole lot of articles that are really helpful. And you should subscribe to that newsletter as well. So I'm going to hand over to Bolaji to, tell us all about the community powered open source Africa.
Communities kind
All
of
right.
shape
Thank
what
you.
open source. Hello, everyone. My name is Bolaji Ayodeji, and today we will be talking about community-powered open source in Africa, using Open Source Community Africa as a case study, right? All we'll be doing basically today is just looking at how communities kind of shape what open source is and how communities help open source thrive in a continent like Africa. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Bolaji Ayodeji, and I am a software engineer and content creator. I currently work as a developer advocate at Commerce Layer, and I am a core team member and community manager at Open Source Community Africa. All right. If you're watching this, it means you most likely have an idea of what open source means, right? At the base level, it just means the source code of an application that is, open for everyone to use and contribute to, right? And this is opposed to some other applications that you most likely might be using where you only have the opportunity to use it, but you actually do not have access to the source code behind that application. So that's kind of the idea behind open source and all that revolves around it. And open source is an initiative that has been on for quite some time now. And, over time, this has been recommended to, to software engineers and different technical experts in different levels, be it beginners, intermediates, and even the experts. People are being encouraged to contribute to open source for so many reasons, right? And some of those reasons can include building personal and communication skills, having an opportunity to practice, building experience, networking, building your CV, and all of that stuff that kind of like shape a developer into being that person they want to be. But then the sole aim behind each of those benefits is growth, right? By contributing to open source, you're trying to grow something, be it your personal skills or be it the project itself. And this brings us to Open Source Community Africa, right? So yeah, Open Source Community Africa is a community of open source lovers, enthusiasts, advocates, experts, all of that within and across Africa. And the sole aim is to increase the rates of credible contributions by African software developers, designers, writers, everyone involved in the sphere of technology to open source projects, both locally and globally. And the idea is for us to change the perception of Africans from just being the billion users to being the next billion creators. So there's a current concept that Africans only consume, right? We are used to utilizing a lot of software that have been created over the years. And what we are doing at Open Source Community Africa is just to try to support the ecosystem whereby we are not just using, these softwares, but we are also creating our own softwares, right? And that's pretty much it around all that we are. The mission is for us to have a diverse community of open source lovers. As I mentioned earlier, open source is a concept that is existing now for quite a long time now. And there's a lot that go into it. And, at the point of creating this organization, we found the problem that there weren't so many, guides around how to build this open source ecosystem. A lot of people were not really so sure about what to do and what not to do. And we wanted to step in and solve that problem by providing the platform and the guide for those with zero experience and those with even 50% experience. So everyone can, participate in this concept and derives the several benefits that exist in them. So yeah, our mission is just to create an atmosphere where Africans not only use software, but also create and contribute to the same software. right? And we hope that in a couple of years from now, we would be able to take African developers and other career paths, from being the billion users to the next billion creators, right? And this is with regards open source. And all you need to know about Open Source Community Africa. First of all, it's a community of creative minds driving open source movement in Africa. We have members in different technical fields, be it core software engineering, design, technical writing, community management. Just name it, right? And we kind of have what we call OSS groups, right? So we split the efforts of building the community into like four currently. There is the engineering, design, documentation, and data science. So each of those groups have different activities split based on the requirements of people in these groups, right? As you can imagine, for engineering, you can think of the core coding behind some of those projects. And for design, we have the open source design. And for documentation, we have the technical writers and the documentation engineers. And data science, we have the data scientists, analysts, and bunch of all that stuff. And we do this based on the current expertise we have in the community. And moving forward, we hope to have more groups. And the third thing to notice that we kind of operate in two ways. The first is the global activities, and next is chapter activities. So global in the sense of we have general activities for everyone in Africa in the community. And then next we have a chapters program, which we call the chapter leads program. Here we have different individuals in different cities across Africa, right? And each of these individuals help us organize local activities in their respective cities, right? Remember, the whole aim is to ensure that everyone is able to benefit from open source, right? And we, being the organization, we cannot reach everywhere. Myself, I am in Nigeria, in Kogi State to be specific. I have my other team members in different states in Nigeria and also in other African countries. We all cannot do it all, right? So we have these individuals, amazing individuals, I must say, who are doing the groundwork in the respective cities and ensuring that, everyone has access to open source. They do this through organizing events, organizing activities, hackathons, and advocating for open source in their respective cities. And this way, we are able to link everyone up to open source as a concept and open source for them to leverage the benefits that exist in them, right? And the last part, which happens to be a very interesting part of the community, is mentorship, jobs, and opportunities. So we try as much as we can to mentor people. When I say people, I mean technical people in the ecosystem into becoming what they desire in the respective fields, right? We share tons of jobs and opportunities around open source, right? You might be familiar with the Google Summer of Code program, Outreachy, the GitHub Campus Expert Program, and tons of other open source initiatives that exist around the world, right? We pride ourselves with being able to have members, or rather, I say people in Africa who have gone through those programs and have been successful at them. And what we do at OSCA is also to help others who are trying to leverage the same opportunities to have the mentorship and the resources they need to get started. And that's kind of like the idea behind all of this, right? And like I mentioned earlier, we have chapters across Africa. And for now, we have about, we are in 8 countries: Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana. I can't even remember the names right now. But then if you look at the map, you kind of get an idea where we are, Nairobi and the rest. And we are currently represented in 56 cities. And we have about 60 chapter leads in each of these cities, ensuring that the work, the aim of Open Source Community Africa is achieved. And one important part of the community is the project itself. So when you think of open source, right, there is the actual contributing to projects, and then there are other things that go even before the contribution. So while we prepare people, we link people up with opportunities and resources, we also try to provide them with projects that they can contribute to. For now, this is a work in progress for Open Source Community Africa. We have just a few in-house projects that people can contribute to, ranging from JavaScript related projects, documentation related projects, and design related projects. In the coming months, we plan to review more of our plans that we have for in-house projects that members of the community at large can contribute to. But then if you want to get your hands dirty with beginner-friendly projects, you can definitely check out our GitHub, where you can find some small projects you can start with. And then moving forward, we will definitely have more projects. Like I mentioned earlier, the idea is for us not only to be consumers of software, but to also be creators of them. So we want to build projects that solve problems that Africans face, right? And we need everyone's help because the community is built by the community itself, and we're represented in different countries. Each of these countries will have different problems to be solved. So if you have a problem in your own country, feel free to reach out, and then we can solve it with open source. And the next part of the community is our Discord server, which is kind of like where all the good stuff happens, right? And don't worry, at the end of this talk, I would share links where you can, join the server and everything. So this is where the whole, everything happens, from random communications to, sharing events, jobs, resources. We also have the Women in Open Source wing, and a bunch of other stuff, and everything around communication happen on Discord. So if you're not on the Discord yet and you're in Africa and you're interested in open source, then most likely you've been missing a lot. And the next part of the community generally is our flagship events, which we have every year. But unfortunately, we couldn't have it last year due to COVID, but then we had the first one in 2020. It's called the Open Source Festival, right? And generally what we just do is once in a year, we bring everyone in Africa together for us to learn and collaborate together. We bring experts, beginners, and different technical fields. We bring everyone together and we just have a festival aimed at showcasing open source. We showcase open source projects that have been built across Africa. We help those who are just getting started, find their paths in open source. At the end of the day, we just ensure that we are equipping everyone in the community together to, become the next billion creators. And this year's festival will be happening next month, March 24th to 26th in Lagos, Nigeria. It's going to be a hybrid event. So if you're not able to travel, you can definitely, join us remotely. But then if you can't travel, feel free to join us at Lagos, Nigeria. And we have a bunch of cool sponsors and, speakers, and we cannot wait to, to showcase all of them to you. And we would have normal talk sessions, and we would also have workshops, and alongside networking sessions and a bunch of other stuff, right? And the third part of the festival, which is also a core aspect of the community at large, is Sustain Africa. We try to do this each time we have the festival. And the last Sustain event was last year, I think around November. And basically what Sustain is we try to have discussions around sustainability. How do we sustain the people and the resources behind open source, right? We talk about open source and all that goes around it, but then there are certain people who, kind of like build these open source projects that a lot of us contribute to, right? And if we leave things the way they are, most likely we would be experiencing decline in several aspects of open source. So we come together, bring open source experts, people who, have been doing this thing for quite some time, and we talk about several problems that open source is currently facing. We try to find solutions to them and work towards implementing those solutions, right? So this is also one core aspect that Open Source Community Africa does, just to ensure that everyone in the open source space is good to go, basically. The third aspect of the community at large, if you're trying to find projects to contribute to made in Africa, right? I know this is biased because this only covers just one country, Nigeria. There are tons of other projects across Africa, but then this is a great point for you to start. At least OSCA has collected together a lot of projects that have been created by Nigerians and Africans at large, right? There are tons of other country-specific projects. I think I've seen the made in Nairobi or something like that, but then this is just a kind of collection where you can find specific projects, right? It's a good way for you to get started and for you to also find products that you can use, right? a lot of times we find ourselves using, generic projects whereby, one created by one of our own already exists, but then no one knows about it. So you might want to check this out, just not just to contribute, but also to find projects that you yourself can use in your own your engineering department, or something you can use for your own company, and all of that, right? And yeah, these are just some pictures from the last festival. You can see happy faces, and you can see people of different backgrounds, different age groups, and all of that's coming together with just one sole aim of learning and sharing together, right? And at the end of the day, we ensure that you are connected with the right platform, with the right resources you need to grow as an individual and as a corporate body in whatever capacity you represent, right? And that's pretty much it about the community at large. You can find us on www.oscarafrica.org. And for you to find, I mean, all the links that you would need, mostly from all I've mentioned, so you can find it at linktree.com/oscarafrica.org. I will drop all of these links in the chat, and then you can check out GitHub, and there's an invite link to join Discord here, which I would also put in the chat section, so we can all follow up, right? And yeah, that's the whole idea, right? The idea of Open Source Community Africa is to bridge the gap between those who are not in open source yet and those who are interested in becoming, who are interested in exploring the capabilities and the benefits that come with open source. And at the end of the day, we get to increase the number of people creating open source projects across Africa, and also support those who are already creating projects so they can have better and sustainable projects. And likewise, we want to ensure that Africans not only be the consumers of software, but also create the software, right? So feel free to reach out if you need any help with joining the community, for partnerships and everything around open source. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I look forward to your questions, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Balaji. That was
awesome.
Yeah, I really like the part of trying to create the next billion creators here in Africa. So that was a really good talk, and I think it's good for people to, because I get a lot of questions. I didn't come from a background of tech. It's something that I stumbled into. I think about 5 years ago, and GitHub played a very important role in my transition into the technology space. So like Open Source Africa, it's a great place for you to start if you're looking to break into tech. Many people's eyes have been opened with all the blessings of like remote work, which is really prevalent in technology. I've been in Nigeria for 4 months, and I've continued to work for GitHub in San Francisco. So definitely take some time to go take a look at Open Source Community Africa, and try to like ask questions. There's so much resources out there if you're looking to get started in your journey, and I think that repository. Go on the chat, and take advantage of all of those links and connect with us, so you can make your own transition as well. And definitely don't forget about the event towards the end of March. I think that would be I wish I was still in Nigeria, but my time here is up. So
I'll give you all the details, and it's also I think it will also be remote as well, so you can attend it as well. So there'll be that option, because it's like a hybrid event. And thank you, Bolaji, for that awesome talk, and everything you shared about OSCA first. The last OSCA festival was in 2020, and then the funny thing was, then I had not started coding. So I had my friends that were part of the organizers, and I was seeing it all over their WhatsApp status, and I could feel although I was not into tech at that moment, I could feel the impact of the event, of the festival in 2020. I could feel it then. So please try to attend OSCA festival this year. It's going to be in March. And the exciting thing is we are giving out 20 tickets. So if you want to attend and you do not have a ticket, you can indicate in the YouTube chat, and would give you a ticket. We are giving out 20 tickets to support Open Source Community Africa. And also, if you have questions for Bolaji, please put it in the chat as well. Bolaji is going to join us live, and we are going to Bolaji is going to answer all your questions about Open Source Community Africa, and how to get involved and all that interesting stuff. So we'll have Yoma very soon. Yoma is going to be talking about the GitHub Campus Expert. Let's be sure Yoma is ready to go.
Yeah, and if you are a campus expert and you are watching this live stream, just let us know in the chat so we can say hello to you and thank you for the good work that you do. I don't know if okay, yeah, it looks like Yoma is coming on.
Yoma is here.
Hello, Yoma.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Hi, Yoma.
Hello, Martins. Hello, Roots, and shout out to all the campus experts watching right now. So
Awesome. So we'll let you kick it off, and we'll step away from there.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Yoma, currently an education community manager at GitHub and a core team member at Open Source Community Africa. So I'm also a computer engineer and an embedded systems lover. And my Twitter handle is Yoma Okobia. So today I'm going to be talking about the Campus Experts program, which is an initiative by the GitHub education team. So just start out with what who a campus expert is. So a campus expert is a student, particularly a student leader that's focused on building communities that are diverse and inclusive on their campus for their peers to learn new skills, share experiences, and build projects together. So to be a campus expert, you just need to be a student and be up to 18. That makes you eligible. The other eligibility rules can be seen on the website. So why should you become a campus expert? Building communities isn't actually easy. It's not as easy as it seems. So while building a community, being a campus expert means you have support from the entire GitHub education team to be the best at what you want to do. There's support, there's training, there's guidance and mentorship that just help you do it right. So it's an exciting program. There are a lot of people that have gone through the program and are doing amazing things. I mean, Bolaji was a campus expert. We have Obina and some other people, a lot of other people rather, that have been campus experts. So the application is currently open and it ends on the 28th of February. You should check it out on githubcampus.experts. This is the last week to apply. It ends next week, Monday. So I'll be open to answering all questions you have. I'll respond on Twitter and probably in the comments on the YouTube channel. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Yoma, for sharing that detail. I'm no longer in school. I can apply to GitHub Campus Expert.
Yeah, I was just going through YouTube to see if there was any question.
Yoma, I have a question. Like, what are like the perks of being like a GitHub Campus Expert?
Okay, so as I said, you'd have support. There's a training program where you get trained professionally and technically, software engineering, technical writing, and public speaking. And then, of course, I forgot to mention their swags.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's a good perk, but it's not the highlight, right? I mean, But then there are swags, a lot of swags.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of the campus experts, actually.
I bet. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Yuma, for sharing. Martin, do you have any question, or did you see any question?
No, I was just gonna
One
comment on the swag. Like,
question. I think there's one question from Ismail. Says I applied for GitHub Campus Experts some days ago, but my GitHub student pack hasn't been approved yet till March 21st. Do I stand a chance?
Okay, so as long as you've had a GitHub account that's up to 6 months old, you're eligible. So it doesn't matter if you have the student pack yet. So there's kind of like there's a team that approves the student pack. So I guess there's just a lot they're handling right now. That's not going to affect the application.
Okay, thank you, Yuma. I'm sure Ismail. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, but you can still be considered regardless of your GitHub student pack not being approved. So thank you so much, Yuma, for that detail. Martin,
Yeah,
did you have any
thanks for
question?
having me.
no, that's I think that's pretty accurate as far as like you maintain your GitHub student pack. You should be able to get into the program. I'm just looking through YouTube to see if there's any other question.
I think the other question for Bolaji, the other question I saw is for Bolaji. So thank you so much, Yuma, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Okay, I think Bolaji is going to come up in a second. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, Bolaji's here.
Hi.
Hello,
And
Bolaji.
How's it
before,
going? Hi, Martin. Hi,
so
Aaron.
Good.
yeah, hi. Before Bolaji goes, we have tickets in case you are not in case you should attend. If you are attending if you are attending Oscar first this year, please indicate on the YouTube chat, and we have 20 tickets available, so we will get you a ticket. So you can put a comment on the YouTube chat, and yeah, allow Bolaji go ahead.
All right. I don't know. I think there are some
I think
questions for me
yeah,
to
you
answer.
have question. So
Okay.
Ni Njita asked, can open source software be used for commercial purposes?
Okay. Yes. I mean, it depends on how you want me to answer the question, because if I answer the way you asked it, can it be used for commercial purposes? Which means, can you use open source to either generate revenue for yourself or your business, right? Is
Yeah,
that, if I
I think that's
assume that's what, yeah, okay, if that's it, then yes, you can. I mean, the only difference between open source and every other kind of project is that one is open source and the other isn't. So it's still the same. Then there's no regulation behind how you use open source project. I mean, it's already open for you to use it however you want to use based on the license of the project. So yeah, you can use open source projects commercially.
Yeah,
I don't know if
and
that
just to
answers the
add,
question. Yeah,
yeah, and
okay.
just to add to Balaji, like there's no company, there's no new company coming up right now that doesn't leverage open source in
Yeah.
some way, right? If you think about like even like your dependencies, like you would see one project and it has like thousands of dependencies, and all of those dependencies are all open source software, right?
Yeah.
And so there is no way for you to like build like the most innovative companies in the world like they have a dedicated page for open source. So it's
Yeah.
definitely part of like all the commercial software you see out there today. There's a piece of open source there. So
Yeah, that's totally correct.
yeah.
Okay, great. So Bolaji, just to make the listeners lighten up a bit, what was your first open source contribution? No, mine was a documentation project. I think it was coding.
Ah. Okay. If I remember clearly, I think it was Open Source Community Africa's website. It was a very silly contribution, right? I used to be a big fan of having buttons with border radius 10 pixels then. So I think the button for the website was like rectangle and it looked really ugly to me. So I just added border radius to the major buttons on the home page. And I think that was it. That was the first contribution I made, which I mean
Hmm.
led to every other thing.
That's
That's
interesting.
awesome.
Mine was like putting a typo with me. So I think mine was more silly. Yeah.
And
So
that sounds interesting.
we have another question. So Abdul Karim is asking, where's the location for the event for um Oscar Fest this year?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, where's the location for Oscar Fest this year?
Okay, yeah, it's in Lagos, Nigeria. The venue, to be specific, is Zone Tech Park, Bagada, Lagos, Nigeria. Yep. And I
Okay.
mean, hopefully soon we would have the festival at other African countries. We tried to do that last year, but COVID happened. But yeah.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's awesome. Don't take back it is. So we are going to be playing Kahoot games. This is the most interesting part. And usually we usually play it, post events on Zoom, but we are bringing it this month to YouTube. And Kahoot games is very interesting, and it's basically you're going to link is going to be shared on YouTube, and you join the game, and we have a couple of questions, and the questions are based on Bolaji stock. So if you were listening, you definitely you're definitely going to be the first. So I'm going to be based on Bolaji stock, what Yoma shared as regards GitHub Campus experts, and it's also going to be some geography, which I do not like, but Andrea keeps adding it. So yeah, we're going to be playing some Kahoot games. So I think Erin is going to be dropping it on the YouTube chat very soon. And I'm going to be participating as well. I think I should share my screen.
Yeah, I don't think biologists should participate because it's all about his talk.
I mean, I most likely would fail. So
I think Yoma, if Yoma is still there, Yoma is also it's also based on Yoma stock too. So
Okay, that's good.
so
So
you've literally banned us.
basically, just go to www.kahoot.it. Okay, it's right on the screen,
yeah,
and
it's
just
up
put a
here.
pin, and then everyone would show up as a player. So
I'm getting my nickname. I think I should just go with Bruce. Yep, I'm in.
okay.
I think I'm the first person, so I should be the top. I think I'm the first person. Okay, we have Mystery, we have Shirley. So you just go to the URL kahoots.it, and you enter the game pin, which has been posted on chat, and then you put in your name, and then you're set to play. So we have 8% now. We need more. Okay, we have 11. Oh, these nicknames are so cool. Ross Lago Rocks.
Rustling, Rocks, Finger, Turtle Ninja. Interesting.
The winner, the winner. I think that one is the most. So the questions are not going to be tough, based on open source community Africa details, GitHub campus experts, and some geography. It's going to be fun, trust me. We have 18 players. Whoa. Martins, are you playing? Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm cryptic.
Oh, interesting. I think I'm the only one that uses my name. Wow.
Yeah, everyone is like trying to like be using pseudonyms and stuff.
I have 20 players. Give it one more minute for others joining. I have 21.
Mm-hmm. People are still joining. Interesting.
Yeah, this one is going to be really interesting. I wonder how, because I've not played it with so many players. Usually um, during the Zoom, we just have few players, so the leaderboard is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how it's going to look like.
Yeah, the change in context from like going from YouTube and then logging into Zoom. So most people don't come on Zoom. So I think that's why I was like, it's actually cool to just have the game here, and you know.
Nice. So, reminder, if you're just joining us, we are giving out 20 tickets for Open Source Community Africa Festival. And if you need a ticket, you just indicate on YouTube chat that you want to attend, and we'll send a ticket to you. So please ask for a ticket. We have 20 tickets to give out. So we are 24 now.
Okay.
Okay, we are ready to go. 25 or something.
We can go now. Okay, here we go. Oh boy.
What? Nossa, question.
Oh, that was a guess. I almost went to like God's gift. I was like, no, that it doesn't sound like God's gift. Nice.
Wow, I didn't even know what to do. Interesting. Born it well. That's a
Anyways,
wonderful name, Bolaji.
that's fake
Oh,
news, anyways.
No, it's not fake news. It's not.
My best friend's name was Ola, and Ola means like weft. So I was like, it
Yeah.
should be like Bonnie Weft. Nice.
Wow. My zero is just shining.
Yeah, please contribute to open source.
Novel is really this thing. Let's see, Novel. Luma, where are you? This supine Pandora just came from nowhere.
I wonder who is that?
Yeah, and there's a fire attached. Why is it has the highest answer streak of 3? Also, some people have failed, and then this person got all 3 right. Yeah, I think Bolaji has clarified this one because I failed it. Okay.
Okay. Number 5. Oh, nice.
Oh, nobody's still up. I'm nowhere to be found anymore. Interesting.
Okay, just
Hmm. I don't know how many languages are in Nigeria.
yeah, I know Nigeria is at least like over 200 languages. So
Oh,
It's way more than that.
yeah, it's definitely more than.
Like,
nice. I just made a guess. The over is not like the bill. Noble is going down. Oh my god. I think I'm rooting for Noble.
Roots, where are you? I can't see you on the board.
Don't worry, I'll come up soon. I think with this answer I should be up soon. The AutoCAD is dancing. Yep, see? I'm coming up.
There you go. There you go.
Type your answers. Wow.
This will be tough.
Jesus. I know it's last week March, but I don't know the exact date. Somebody said I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Tough round.
Nothing-
It was
Wait,
a
nothing
really tough
happened.
round.
That was tough.
Yeah. This question is quite tricky.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
Mm.
You have some explaining to do here. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. What's major?
I,
I
I need
think.
I need to know who answered true to that.
Wow, you might just came
That's
from nowhere.
unfair.
It's only up from here.
Trump has smallest area.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to get this
Sort of, no.
one. I never even heard of the second one. So,
That was a
Good.
guess because the places with the longest names usually have the smallest areas. The makeup
That's
for
a
it
good
in
way
the
to
length
think
of the
about it.
That's a
name.
myth.
Nice.
I may
wow.
just win this time.
So I'm kinger, but I can't win. So someone else has to win.
Oh, you're Kenya. Wow. And
Yeah, I'm kinger.
where? Wow. And Mark Noble is still there, like he's still at top. Wait, I think I did not read this question well.
Building community is super easy, true or false.
So this is
Yay!
well, you
Mark
might have to.
Noble and
I know it will be Martin.
Finger.
I mean, to be fair, he answered all the questions. I answered only 7 questions.
But anyways, Martins
Oh,
and Yoma
okay,
is
yeah.
disqualified. So
Yeah, I'm disqualified. So Mark Noble.
No, no, no. I need a ticket to the festival.
yeah, you're disqualified, Yoma.
Uh, so I think there'll be like instructions on the chat on like how
Yeah,
to get the prices. Let's see.
I think for just playing, you should get a price like me. I played.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah, Roots. I think you have too much swag at this time, so you need to like spread the love.
Okay. Thank you everyone for playing. Also, congrats Mark Noble for taking the second position. Don't worry, Martin's not going to get anything.
Yeah,
And
I'm not
yeah,
gonna get anything.
yeah, you can still comment on the chat if you're attending Oscar Fest and you don't have a ticket. So we give you a ticket. We have 20 tickets we are giving out. So yeah, please Bolaji and Yoma, please can you share your Twitter handles as well? So
Yeah,
Okay,
you can do
it's
that.
I am Bolaji Ayo.
yeah.
all right, follow
Mine
Bolaji.
is Yoma Okubia. And let me just add. So I'll be at the festival and I'll be at the GitHub booth. So looking forward
Yeah,
to
because I'm
meeting
going to get lots
everybody.
of flags from Yoma.
No comments. But yeah, the starts.
Yep.
Awesome. Anything else that I think there should be a survey link in the
Yeah,
in the
that is
chat.
the link.
So
If if you want to give us like info on how we can make the this virtual meetup better, please use the survey link to put in like your thoughts. And also we have like a CFP, a call for proposal link. If you want to speak in one of these meetups, you can apply even if you're not sure of what you want to speak about yet. So you might asking a refreshment. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah, so you can apply to speak at any of the months that is comfortable with you, and we can also guide you on what you want to talk about as well. So we welcome first time speakers, from all over. And yeah, I think the link to the CFP will be shared in the YouTube chat, so you can check it out and come speak at GitHub Africa Virtual Meetup. And I think we would not have a Zoom chat, but I'm sure everyone enjoyed playing this game because I love playing it as well, even though I did not win today. I still
yeah,
I won.
next time, Roots.
It
Next
was
time,
not my
Roots.
luck. Yeah, yeah. So thank you much. Thank you very much. Yoma or Bola, did you have any comments? Any last comments?
I'll just see you guys at the festival.
Yep. Okay,
All right.
Stay
Bolaji.
I'll
safe,
be there
everyone.
virtually. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you,
No,
Yoma. Thank you, Balaji. Sorry, yeah, you need to give me the gist.
Yeah, sure. Thank you
All right.
everyone for attending this, and bye.